we have an absolutely massive Dodgers playoff update that's going to have huge implications on the team as they gear up for the NLDS that kicks off this Saturday. Hey, this is Mike Nelson of Dodgers Digest. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. I want to thank the almost 13% of you, the ones that are watching these videos who have already hit that subscribe button. But 86% of you have not hit the subscribe button yet. Make sure to subscribe. Thousands of you are now watching those videos, and I want to thank everybody for the support. But myself and Brad J, who are bringing you everyday Dodger videos, have a goal of reaching 1,000 subscribers by Saturday by the time the NLDS kicks off. And, we're getting close. So make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any Dodger content. Let's get right into it. Of course, we now have a possible rotation. That's right. We have confirmation from the front office that they are planning to go with Jack Flaherty in Game 1 and Yoshinobu Yamamoto in Game 2. This is breaking news. This just came out less than an hour ago. The Dodgers are planning to go with Jack Flaherty in Game 1 and Yamamoto in Game 2. And this is obviously big news, to say the least. And, what was also interesting with, his statement today was that he said, Buehler and Knack are going to play big parts, but we haven't really focused much time outside of Games 1 and 2. Which is obviously interesting. It's something that I kind of talked about in the video a few days ago with the Dodgers, of course, having a bit of a doubt on who's going to be the third starter for this team, right? Because there's a lot of people that want, of course, Walker Buehler to be that guy, but Landon Knack has, also been very good, and Walker Buehler hasn't been that good at times. So that's going to be the big question mark on what the Dodgers are going to do with that, right? What are they going to do to figure out what the rest of the rotation is? But it's already been confirmed. Flaherty Game 1, Yamamoto Game 2. And my first thoughts, well, I'm a bit shocked. Like I talked about, I would have gone with Yamamoto as the first starter. I would have picked Yamamoto to go number 1. And the only reason why I would is because the Dodgers are committed to this guy long term. They're paying a lot of money for him. And if he's going to get that kind of money, he should be the number 1 starter. And the guy has been basically lights out for the majority of his starts. He's had a couple bad starts, but he was out for a long time. But arguably he was the Dodgers' best pitcher along with Tyler Glasnow in the 2024 season. And I just don't know if Jack Flaherty fits into that mold. You look at Jack Flaherty's numbers; they're solid, of course. 6-2, 3.58 ERA. The WHIP has been good as well, 1.28. But it just 10 starts with the Dodgers, too. You got to remember, this guy was not with us at the beginning of the year. He came over from the Detroit Tigers after, the Tarek Skubal thing didn't work out. And, well, look at what the Tigers are doing. Now in the ALDS, sweeping the Astros today. The Trastros. Well, they took the trash out, so that's good. But anyway, that ended up working out good for them, not trading Skubal. And, the Dodgers end up getting Flaherty, which was kind of their second or third choice, right? There was also Crochet. And Flaherty's been, pretty solid for the Dodgers. He's been pretty good. But I don't know. Personally, he makes mistakes. Basically, in all his starts, he does make mistakes. Gives up a lot of home runs. Sometimes is not really all there in terms of, pitch selection, right? He throws bad pitches at times, leaves pitches in bad spots. And I have more confidence in Yamamoto that he's not going to do that because he hasn't done that at times this year. Most of his starts, he's had starts where he makes no mistakes, where the other team makes no contact, like no solid contact. If they get hits, they're just base hits. They're just, little singles and go in the outfield or get through the infield. But with Flaherty, I mean, you always have every game he's had this year. There's always like that one pitch that almost was a home run, or that line drive where somebody makes a big play. There's always that with Flaherty. The teams usually get a lot of solid contact off of Jack Flaherty, and come playoff time, that's not good because usually if you're gonna get solid contact off somebody, you're facing better players, and these guys end up getting hits or getting home runs. And, then you're kind of in trouble, right? So that's the concern I have with Jack Flaherty, which is why, personally, if I was a manager, if I was a front office executive, I would have gone with Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Yamamoto 7-2 this year, a 3.0 ERA, 18 starts for the Dodgers this year. That's solid for me. That looks like ace numbers. Yes, it's only 7-2, but that's because he was out for 3 months. People forget this guy was injured for a long time. Getting injured way back in June and didn't return until September. But he has looked great since coming back. He has looked like the old Yamamoto that we saw back in May, late May, early June. The guy was on fire for the Dodgers. And that's the kind of Yamamoto we've been seeing the last few starts, right? I mean, that's the kind of pitcher I've been seeing. I don't know what you've been seeing, but comment below if you don't think so. But I mean, Flaherty is a solid pitcher, but like I mentioned to my colleague Brad J, Jack Flaherty has never had this task in his career. He never has. He has never been tasked with this ace pitcher role, the number one starter role. He's been in the big leagues for some time now. This guy is not a rookie. He is not an inexperienced pitcher. Of course, he doesn't have a lot of playoff experience, but that's because he's never been given this kind of assignment to be the number one starter for the team. Because looking at the article, of course, where I got this information from on these pitchers on DodgersView.com, they go into the fact that potentially is Flaherty going to be pitching on 3 days rest if there's a Game 4? Is he going to be the Game 5 starter? I mean, that just starts to get kind of crazy. Think about it. Is Jack Flaherty you really think this guy's going to be the Game 1 and Game 5 starter? I mean, he could prove me wrong, which I hope he does. I hope he pitches amazing, and this is all afterthought. And he shows that he is the ace pitcher on this team. But I'm just saying he has never had this kind of task given to him. He never has been given that in his entire career. If you look at his past years playing with the Cardinals, especially, because I believe that's when he was in the playoffs. The only time he really had playoff, on a playoff roster, right? And of course they had Adam Wainwright. They had so many other guys, Michaelis. There was just so much other Lance Lynn. There was just so many other guys that were going to that they just never really went to Flaherty in the big moments, right? So now he's given the task to he's pitching for his hometown team, the Dodgers from LA. And this is, again, like I talked about a couple weeks ago, that start he had against San Diego was the biggest start of his career. And now, once again, against San Diego in Game 1 of the NLDS, this is now the next biggest start of his career. So every start moving forward for Flaherty is going to be the biggest start of his career. And you just wonder if the pressure is eventually going to get to him. Yamamoto is the opposite. The guy is a rookie, but he's pitching like a veteran out there. I mean, Yamamoto might not be the ace pitcher for the Dodgers right now, but he is going to be someday. There is no doubt about it. I have no doubt that this guy is going to develop to be the number one starter for the Dodgers for years to come. They made a great decision to sign this guy and bring him over. He is worth all the money they had to sign to get him. He looks great out there. He is a great pitcher. He has, just really a lot of control. He doesn't throw bad pitches. It's really hard to hit home runs off of him. Not a lot of walks. I think he's great, and I think he's young. So, this year is going to be, of course, a learning experience. I think that's why the Dodgers kind of hesitated to give him that ball in Game 1, right? Because, there is always, obviously, that doubt. He's a rookie pitcher. We really want a rookie to pitch our first game. Flaherty's 30 years old. That's always the, experience, right? I think experience this time of year is very important, right? Experience in terms of pitching in these major league battles that they are come playoff time. And, Yamamoto just doesn't have that, right? He just does not have that at this time, which he will over time. I mean, think about it. The Dodgers drop Game 1. The pressure's going to go on Yamamoto to deliver in Game 2. They're going to really need that ball game. So you got to hope the Dodgers win Game 1. I really hope they do, because if they don't, they are really going to have a tough time. There's going to be now questions on Jack Flaherty's mind. Is he really going to be the guy? And they don't have a lot of guys to go to. I mean, this is it. They got Flaherty, Yamamoto, Knack, and Walker Buehler. Those are the 4 guys they got right now that are solid, healthy, and ready to go. They don't have much else. Gavin Stone's injured. Tyler Glasnow's out for the year. Clayton Kershaw is a big question mark. What else they got? There's not much there. Tony Gonsolin's hasn't pitched in over a year. So yeah, there isn't a lot there. So gotta hope that they could pull together and get what they get the pitching on par, because if you've been watching these games like I've been watching, I'm a baseball fan. Pitching is what's king in this time of year. The Tigers outpitched. That's how they beat Houston. Kansas City is currently outpitching Baltimore, and that's how they're beating them. So you got to pitch to win in October, and Flaherty and Yamamoto are going to have to be solid if they're going to want to have a shot to win game 1 and 2. And the bullpen, we're not going to have enough time to get to that in this video, but that goes without saying. The bullpen has to be good, right? They have to be good. We'll talk about that for sure in the next few days. Now, I wanted to close out today's show also talking about Fernando Valenzuela. Of course, a legendary player for the Dodgers, legendary now broadcaster. He is, of course, gone on leave. He is not going to be returning to the team to do his announcing. He currently does the local Spanish radio for the Dodgers, and he is now on leave to focus on his health. Definitely tough news. But they also the Dodgers did add that he aims to return for the 2025 season. So I wish all the best, and I know everybody out there wishes all their best to Fernando Valenzuela, a Dodgers legend. We hope he's able to recuperate in time to be ready to announce for the Dodgers next year in 2025. We hope to have him back, ready to go. He's done a great job, really announcing for the Dodgers in Spanish. He's done a lot for, of course, the Latino community here in LA as well. Make sure to subscribe, and let's go Dodgers.